Now, unfortunately, today we're not going to be learning how to crush people in chess.
Dang it!
Today, we're going to learn how to positionally crush people in chess with open files. Alright? So,
Why?
who here knows what an open file is?
That's an open file.
I just did this class
It's
with
open line.
the intermediate
It's
group,
an open line
and
that
everybody knew what an open file is. So if you don't know what an open file is, you came 2 hours late to class. Next. Alright.
And then
Okay,
just
what's
an open
open
file.
file that's open.
I bet I wanted that to be your captain now.
Oh! I bet, yeah. This is the best thing.
Okay. Can everyone see this? An open file is a file
That is open.
where there's no pawns on the file.
So it's open. But there's a queen.
What? I said there's no pawns. Well, there's no exception to that, okay? Now,
But there's a king.
still an open file. No questions. No, you're banned from questions. Okay. Oftentimes in chess games, there's only like one open file, maybe even no open files, but they are very highly influential in many games, and gaining control over it can basically win you the game. Now,
Take the pawn.
why do we care about open files?
Take the pawn. What? Then you would go
Because of
pawn.
pawn?
This is the seventh rank.
Yeah, right? Well, the rook functions best on the 7th or the 2nd rank, right? How can we get there? Through an open file.
Take
Unless you,
the
I don't
pawn!
know, magically wizard through your way, but usually it's through an open file. If you control an open file, you can move your rooks to the 7th rank, usually. Okay? So, let's take a look. Well, yeah, everyone's looking at this position.
Take the pawn. Take the pawn. Take the pawn. Take the pawn.
What do you think about this? This is the only open file in the game. Is it very useful?
No.
No.
Why?
Take the pawn. Yeah, it is.
Like, is it a good idea for white to play king g2 and play rook
But there's an
h1?
easier way.
No.
Isn't that the thing that Cagney Smiles did?
But the problem with
Like
Playing this.
uncastled his king or something?
But the problem with playing this is that black can easily defend any of your attacks with king g7. And that's very easy for black to do. The easiest way to win here is to trade the pawn, open up the c file, play rook c7. Now, what's important here is we don't just play king g2. Many people just say, okay, my rook's on the 7th rank, that's it. But your opponent is also a human being that will be like, how can I get this rook off the 7th rank so I can get my rook out of passivity? And they're going to start trying to kick your rook away, king e8. And when you move in, they'll stop your rook. Yeah. And then rook goes down, e6. Doesn't really matter. Point is, now black has opportunities to try and challenge your open file to get that rook to become more active. This is going to be a draw. So that's why we have rook d7. Rook d7 basically forces black to defend the pawn. But what becomes very important is now it's very difficult for black to chase the rook away off the 7th rank. We just move our rook back to c7. So you'll notice there's a difference between this position and this position is that this pawn is pushed upwards. However, what you'll notice is that if black tries to play king e8, king e2, what happens?
You can take the free pawn.
Take the free pawn, right? And if they don't do that, instead they try and push the f pawn, doesn't matter because the rook on the 7th rank can move around back and forth and do whatever they want. And as long as the rook's on the 7th rank, you get a lot of activity. Okay? One thing that's very important to note here is that white's rook is obviously better than black's rook. It controls a lot more squares, it attacks more targets, and it restricts the movement of black's pieces. White's rook is very aggressive, black's rook is very passive. Black rook is stuck defending b7. And the black king is stuck on the 8th rank defending f7. Whereas for white, white can just move the king up forward, push pawns, start making progress to getting better endgame positions. Whereas black is just there to sit. So putting a rook, controlling an open file and moving a rook on the 7th rank, it ties the enemy piece down to passive defending. All right, everyone can see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, not this. here's another position.
Push the D pawn. Then you attack his knight, then he's forced to take, and then we can just take the pawn.
Is he forced to take them?
Yeah, so in this position, there are no open files. However, since we have the right to move first, we can play d6. It forces black to trade the pawn.
But he
open up.
doesn't. Then you lose the knight.
You either lose the knight or you lose the pawn, right? And regardless of what happens, white is going to get a better position. Now, if black wants to try to say, hey, you have an open file, but I have an open file as well, right? You get the 7th rank first. And this is very important because knight is pinned to this pawn here. And if the knight moves, I win a7. And black has no time to play rook e2. Rook e2 also is not very powerful of a move. So if black just goes rook c8, very passive position for black, right? And we can use that time to play something like knight e5.
But now
to
there's
get
a
good
rook
position.
outpost. Instead of his knight outpost. Now there's a rook outpost.
Don't look too far ahead in the class, okay? But yeah, so this is why, one, some open files are better than others, and two, getting the 7th rank first is a very nice advantage in time, okay?
Oh my eyes.
The usual way, now how can we defend, right?
Can't.
Because the usual way to defend against rook invasion is to oppose the enemy rook with one of your own rooks. Okay, this is very common, I think everybody knows this already. If they play rook d1, we can play rook d8. Everyone
Rook
agree?
80.
What?
Everyone agree?
Which
You don't
rook?
want to just allow them to go the open file and double up or play to the 7th rank and we just sit there and do nothing,
Henry?
right?
Which rook? And
Well, that matters a lot. We will see in this position. So rook d1, that's threatening rook d7. What should we play here?
rook 80.
Okay, that makes sense. Rook
No.
CD8.
Yeah, CD8.
CD8.
e8.
CD8. Oh.
Kidding me? Okay.
Obviously, because then if you take that, then you just move, you just develop a piece. And
No, but why is rook e8 wrong?
I don't know, but I have an
What do
idea.
you mean you don't
If
know?
undefended, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, the a7 pawn is undefended.
That is true.
Yeah, but even if
White
you
to bishop e3. This connects the rook, pairs the rooks, and the bishop attacks pawn. And at first you're like, okay, who cares?
who's that?
But then you have to consider, right? No, you have to consider, what do I do now as black?
Nothing, just design.
There's two options. You can take rook, which probably isn't your best interest. Now white just takes back, and you can't stop it from coming to the 8th or the 7th rank. Or we can defend pawn.
Yeah, so why do we, wait, but then,
But then white just goes bishop
yeah,
e6.
see, just resign now.
And attacks the rook. Now after captures, we can't play rook d8 anymore because the
But you
bishop.
can play rook
And we could play
E7.
rook e7, but then there's rook d8 check. And in fact, after king moves
Should
away,
that say?
the bishop can go to c5,
What if you go bishop C7?
hitting the rook. Rook c7, bishop d6, and the rook is trapped.
Oh. Oh. Oh no.
What if it block with the bishop?
So, if they block with the bishop, then there's bishop to c5. That's
Good.
what causes
Good.
the problem.
That's not good. Go into the position where the book is trapped.
What?
Trapped. Why can't you just play rook bishop f6?
You could play bishop f6, but after bishop takes rook, the bishop protects bishop.
But that's not that bad.
I think it's pretty bad. You're down a full bishop. If you don't win this,
It's a rush. But all the leg squares. Yeah, it's kind of rush.
no, it's not. It's not drawing. You have 3 points. 3 points. If you're on 1 point in that position, you'd be winning. You have 3 points. Okay? Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So here we actually want to move the other way. And the reason is a bit different. Now after bishop a3 and bishop e3, we actually just play king f8. We move our king closer.
Move king.
And you might think, hey, but aren't you just losing a pawn here? King f3. Aren't you just losing a pawn? Bishop a7?
Fourth check. Fourth check.
No, we can play rook d2 check, right? Yeah.
I hate
We're going to win.
that they made
B2.
like a great move. I can't believe they made a great move.
What? Green. And a brilliant move. Green as well.
Yeah.
That's because lead chess doesn't care. Doesn't want you to try and chase for brilliance. Okay?
Exactly.
Then they should make everything green.
Uh-oh. There you go. Okay.
They should make everything.
How would house
So. Let's see. And now you're going to see this a lot. Common idea to win an open file is white, whereas the side that wants to win the open file is when two rooks face each other across the file, always check for opportunities to attack the enemy rook, right? So over here for us, we want to see can we attack the d8 rook? And yeah, we can play bishop f6. It's safe. We don't get kicked away immediately after. And after we play bishop f6, it forces black to either capture our rook and give us the open file, or move away and also give us the
And
open
then it
file.
can also knock.
Well, then just lose material, right?
Yeah.
So, regardless of what happens, you'll get access to the file, and hopefully you'll be able to get to the 7th rank or double up at the minimum, right? So let's take a look there. Okay, over here. What should we play?
Nothing. Bishop B6. No, bishop C5. B6. C5.
First of all, why bishop c5?
Why not?
Horrible response. If you,
Then rook H D1.
a rule of thumb, you guys are my advanced class. If you're ever in a game of chess and you're thinking, what should I do? And then you see a move and you're like, yes, that's a good move. I want to play that move.
Rook D1.
Always ask yourself, why?
Why not?
And if your answer is,
Rook A.
why not? You should probably not play that move and try and find something better.
Rook B1.
Yeah.
A. No, rook H D1. Bishop rook
Like,
A6.
at least give yourself like
Rook
some
H1.
excuse.
Rook A.
Like, if you're playing bishop c5, at least say I'm attacking the rook. That's the only thing it does. It actually helps black. The rook can go to d8
Then you can
first.
attack it again. Bishop B6.
That's
And
why
that's
bishop
just the way
b6.
of two.
Okay, but let's take a look at why, at some other options here. Why don't you just play rook b1?
He'll challenge you.
I'll challenge you.
Then bishop B6. Then they'll just do stuff. Oh my god. Then bishop C5. Oh. Bishop C5.
Go back to bishop c5 and be a double up.
Bishop B6. And then losing to Bishop B6. Again.
The point here is that now, after the rook comes to this d5, I would say this is considered a rook outpost, is that if we take, it'll close the file, which probably takes d5.
But then why can't we just go rook C? Oh. Why can't you
Right?
just take the other pawn?
And if we
Bishop
don't take,
C5.
then black is just going to camp out this file, and we're not going to be able to take advantage of it. So we want to avoid this, and that's why Harvey's idea, bishop b6, makes a lot of sense. You prevent the rook from coming to the d file, and we're also threatening to bring our rook to the d file, and black can't stop us. This is very
What
good
if
for
he
white.
plays? Is that like a rook outpost? If he can make a rook stay somewhere.
Maybe. Well, we'll talk about it later. But that's the idea, right? And how can we see this? One is because we don't want the rook to challenge us and come to d5 and just camp out our open file. You know?
Camp out. You should.
Or block out our open file.
You should
We
show
want
them like
it to be
the rook of-
complete control for us. And
That's kind of mean.
black's positions kind of sucks. Like, what is this bishop? What is this bishop? Paid actor. Doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. Right?
Paid actor. That's
So-
a bit hard. But it's guarding the king.
Who's paying the bishop? Us. Why? Because the bishop can't do anything against bishop b6. And we're going to play rook b1 and rook b7, and we're going to have a good time. And black can't do anything. There's no other open files. Black can try and open up like this, but we're just going to capture, and they'll not be very happy. Or we're just going to stay there forever. Very good position for us. Very hard for black to play.
That's not a bishop outpost.
Well, not really.
That's technically a bishop
But
outpost.
the rook king on the b7, that's going to be a big problem. We double the rook up, and we can even play rook b7.
No, but you
Bring another rook in.
No, but you can go A4, A5.
Take.
Then you go rook takes. Yeah,
Bishop takes. And
Then
then
rook
E4.
D1. Hey.
And then king takes.
Whatever.
Fine.
You guys are crazy.
Fine.
All right. But okay. What about this?
Why didn't we do trust fall?
Sink.
Our rook is our rook. We have the upper
Take
file,
the bishop.
but we can't go to D7.
Take the bishop.
Okay, yeah, so we can take a bishop.
Wait, what?
Go to rook B7. Now, if they try and challenge us, right? We don't want to take the pawn because then we lose.
What if he finds a way? Oh yeah, we can't attack the
So we double the rooks, and now black has a decision. So black can of course trade, but after rook D8, you'll notice that white's rook is more active than black's rook.
A fun fact, you can't attack a piece with your knight if it's a diagonally one square away. It takes 3 moves to do
Yeah.
that. So you can't attack the rook anyway.
Yeah, right. You guys didn't know that?
Yeah, I do.
If you ever want to avoid a check from a knight in like an endgame, for example,
Just go.
the king should ideally be somewhere like here, because the knight will need a very long time to try and get to you, right? Maybe like here is okay, but ideally, if you put it diagonally, it'll take a very long time for the knight to try and get you. Okay? Fun fact. All right.
I said that. Hey. Sigma.
Okay.
Wait, with that word you can make
The
sigma.
ultra rook.
This was a grandmaster game between Geller and
Say
that
his last
guy,
name.
Simagen or something. Simagen or Simagen or whatever.
Sigma.
Doesn't matter. It was played in Moscow between two GMs at the time. And this is a kind of instructive game on how White was able to get that C file and kind of win the game because of it. So, you know, White goes bishop A6, shakes queen takes, and
Wait, what if he guards it?
now there's a A7 pawn that's on the loose. It's very weak.
What if he guards it? With his rook. Why can't he just guard it with his rook?
Could, but then we would get rook C7, and we would attack the pawn again.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Can I go drink water?
He just drank water.
If you want to drink water, just go. But here's a very big request I want to ask you. If you drink water and you have the cup, please throw it out. Don't just leave it there on the table.
I'll leave it here and throw it out and then class.
That's what everyone says, but then they leave class and I have to clean up for them.
I won't.
Last-
I'm not that bad.
Last class, I threw out 7 paper cups. Where did you guys get the 7 paper cups from?
MJ was playing paper airplanes. What do you mean?
Hey, stop snitching on other
I was
people.
lying.
Focus on yourself. Don't.
That's
these
class
out in the
I
hurry.
brought a water bottle. So I went up.
Great. Keep on doing that. Where's your water bottle
I
now?
forgot to bring a water bottle.
There you go. Save the planet, fellas. All right. Queen Ace A6. So, I don't really like how black is playing this. I think it's a complete misplay. But over here, what's really interesting.
Would you call that a mistake or inaccuracy?
Now here, what's interesting is that Geller plays bishop d6
That's a
to
good
attack
move,
the
right?
rook. And the funny thing is, well, the idea is that he could play e5. So he wanted to play e5 here. But
But
if
then
he
it
played
blocks-
e5, he would block his bishop, right? So he wants his bishop to be more active and then lock it down with e5. And now another part is the bishop can't come to e7 anymore because of the bishop on d6. So when the bishop moves away, rook c7 is played. Now it's a complete clamp on black's position. Black's gonna lose the e8 pawn.
I hate when people like use all their pieces to attack one of my pieces and I can't maneuver my pieces over there. So
The black's queen is like, okay, I mean my job of protecting the pawn. Clearly, I did not do that very well, so I'll just get out. You know. Now Yellen moves the knight to d2. Clearly, he's not interested in a queen trade after queen e1 check. So knight blocks. Now, I think Simakin is he needs to get the knight out because queen a7 is coming, and the knight needs to get out anyways. But now he realizes he can't defend the f7 pawn, and after this he resigns. And you know it's clear that
So the
queen
guy
is
won?
7th rank. Yeah, so white wins this game.
yay.
It's a very quick win as well. So black mentioned resign here, and it just goes to show how
many moves has he won?
I don't know, but
Did
just
he
goes to
crush him?
show. Controlling the C file was very important in this game. Were there any tactics? No, it's just trade. But they got the C file, and they were able to win the game just like that. Right.
But why only 10 moves?
Eventually.
Okay. Another thing I'll take a look. You guys know what outposts are?
Yes.
But you've probably heard them for things like the knight.
Only the night.
Now, one aspect that we have not considered so far is how the advantage of having an open file can transpose into another kind of advantage.
Rook
Like a pass pawn.
Rook C6. Rook C5.
And say rook c6 again.
Okay.
Rook C6.
Now, a square on an open file that is supported
Wait, what
by
do you mean
a
a
pawn.
square?
A square. Yeah.
Square.
Oh, square on the hub.
Rook C6.
Is
Rook
called an
C6.
outpost that can be used by the rook. Now, notably, it's located in enemy territory. Okay? Because if you have an outpost on C3, who does it help?
Wait, is it like you say a square? She just put notations like like
Yeah.
kind of like a coordinate.
And
Yeah.
Rook
Why do you think it's not connection?
I just noticed that.
Okay. But anyhow, right? It's called an outpost. In this position, C6. A C6 is the outpost for white, and C5 is the outpost for black. Let's see how we can use this in action. Right? So,
Rook c6.
now, okay, let's imagine for some reason you didn't play rook c6, and you doubled the rooks, right? Players love to double the rooks because it's an easy plan to follow, and it's a good plan to follow.
Rook C5.
But if black plays rook c5, even though you doubled the rooks, you have no foothold on that open file because there's two pawns protecting this rook. That rook is never going to go away, and when this other rook comes in, you're not going to get an advantage, safe to say, right? And after this, you're not winning. You're not winning this. This is a draw, unless your opponent does something very dumb. Maybe you can win.
Like blunder's rook.
Yeah, but if you play rook c6, that's the best way to fight for advantage. Now, the b6 pawn is under attack. Black can, of course, take your rook, right? Of course, that's definitely doable. And then you can choose to either play b takes or d takes, and you get a passed pawn.
B takes. B.
I personally, maybe I would go d takes just so it's a passed pawn. And then the goal here is now, we're going to try and get a rook active somewhere else, maybe somewhere over here. Oh, maybe push the pawns, try and open another line, so that we can use this passed pawn to our advantage. Because right now, one weakness is not enough. We can just move our king back and forth. We're not going to win, right? This is not enough to win. We need something else. And so we might want to start trying push h5.
But you
open up
can't
some
go
line,
two squares up.
and break some, break some pawn structures and try and get some open position to try and get through this position. Now rook b8 to defend b6, rook c1 doubling the rooks,
Rook AC1.
and now we have rook c8. So here,
Rook HC.
thank you. Here is the question now. We click king e4, and what's important here is that black can't really do much here. Black can of course take the rook, but they're not going to make any more progress. This rook on b8 is shut to this pawn, and for white, we can just like push our pawns forward. No one's going to stop us. Who's going to stop us? All the pieces are cramped.
What if you resign before
Right.
you push the pawn?
Well, that's good. You know, if your opponent resigns, what does that mean?
What white blunder syndrome?
You win. And winning is something that I think a lot of people would benefit from.
Wait, but what if white goes rook
Okay.
C7?
So, lesson summary, then we're going to take a look at a quick game. There are a number of important points regarding open files. One is we want to try to gain control of an open file, if there is one, because controlling an open file can be used to invade the 7th rank and occupy an outpost. Now, if there are no open files, you should only create one, if possible, if you can use that file to your advantage. Many people often create open files for your opponents. You're not helping yourself, you're helping your opponent. They're happier, you're not, right? So when you create open files, always think about, do I want this, or do my opponent want this, right? So, let's take a look at this game. This game's between Anand and Nonchuk.
Oh, Anand.
Games. Yeah.
Oh, and Von Chuck.
Yep,
Bon
tricky.
Chuck Ivan.
So this was a
Roy Lopez.
Roy Lopez. Right, castles now, of course. You could take the pawn's variation, but
What
this
is
is,
it?
so far this is theory, A4, B4. I think this is all theory now. To reload
I
this,
saw this game before.
are you sure? I don't think you did.
I did.
But the reload vest is it's an opening that appears everywhere on high level play, and many players know moves and moves of theory behind this, right? So how much they play it. So this should all be pretty much theory. I don't know up to this point, but you can see how they develop pieces and it might help you.
They played 14 moves of theory.
I mean, a lot, right? Okay, now I think we start again in the middle game. Anand plays a very committal decision, D4.
Wait. Hey, Henry,
Yes?
who won?
Anon.
Anon is good, yeah, Anon.
It's 1-0, so I think.
Anon won. Yeah, Anon won.
Because
then
1-0. And then
So interesting enough, Anand wants to trade me. And Ivanchuk is like, okay, sure. You know?
And Chuck Ivan.
I don't know about this move. It looks a bit weird, but I mean, what else does Black play? Notice here, Anand has what we call a semi-open file.
I mean, his pawn's not blocking his own rook with the opposite
Yeah, right?
colors.
So, no, a semi-open file is what the file is only where your pawn is gone, your opponent's pawn is still there. And the reason why semi-open files they're a lot more common, and they're very important because both sides are going to have one. But over here, I would prefer white semi-open file because black semi-open file hits a brick wall. It hits a brick wall. That pawn chain, it's unstoppable. But over here, this semi-open file is to the base of this pawn chain, and that can make it very weak. So Anand doubles on this file, and Ivanchuk moves the king over to help with the defense. So Anand is doing a lot of what we call maneuvering. This knight on b3. What is this knight on b3 even doing?
Nothing.
It's doing nothing, right? We want to get this knight somewhere, but where? Right? That's a good question. So I think originally he's trying to get to d5, maybe by knight c1, knight d3, knight f4, knight d5, but he ends up changing his plan later on. So Vasily overprotects the rook, overprotects the d6 pawn. So now it fixes the pawn structure. It's kind of getting very close, right? Both sides are getting now. Here is, I guess, what he really wanted. So I thought he was going to go to d5, but no. In fact, he wanted to go to c4. And playing b3 was part of that. Because after playing b3, now knight b2, knight c4 is a possible idea.
Yeah, it's because it's
And when the knight goes to c4, it's a lot more powerful. It attacks d6. It also can go to b6. So a very good outpost. And the knight on c4 also protects a5. So Ivanchuk wanted to win the a5 pawn, and the knight came in just in the clutch.
Clutch.
This is the highlight of the game. Anand plays e5 in this position. He sacrifices a pawn. And he sacrifices a pawn to blow open that e file. And now he has an open file. And he's going to take advantage of it. He puts a rook on the 7th rank. And he puts a rook
He made a mistake, right?
doubled on the 7th rank. Who knows?
Can you game review this game?
I don't know. I can't.
Can you copy the analysis and put it in just on
I cannot.
Wilson,
They tell me to pay money, and I don't have money. Okay.
Wilson, Rook
The
TV.
doubling the rooks on the 7th rank, right? Okay, Ivanchuk was like, oh well, it doesn't really matter to me. But here,
He's actually dying.
it's not a very good position for black. Anand eventually wins his pawn back. Ivanchuk thinks he's very tricky. He goes for a fork. But unfortunately, it's a trade. Now Anand's just going to push his a pawn. Everything's going to be fine. In this position, Ivanchuk resigns. Ivanchuk is well known in the chess community to resign when he doesn't like his position. So he often resigns when the engine thinks he's down like 0.3 or 0.4. But he sees like 50 moves ahead in the end game, and he's like, I don't want to play it, I'm going to lose it. He just resigns, you know?
What if he blundered like a positional error?
And it's a very gentleman kind of idea because in this position, I would play on. I would definitely play on. But Ivanchuk has a lot of faith in his opponent to play good chess. And over here, he just doesn't see it working. He resigns in this position.
That's actually so nice to
Yeah, but it just goes to show that blowing up that e-file with this pawn sacrifice really worked very well in the end for Fernando. All right.
What's Ivanchuk's last name?
Let me play black.
No, Ivanchuk is his last name. Vasily is his first name.
Oh, Ivanchuk.
Okay. So that's the plan lesson for today.
Jake.
Now, I knew this was going to be a quick one because I did this one with the intermediate class, and it was very quick. So, what do you want to learn about? I can show some.
Jeremy.
I don't know.
Jeremy is the guy in intermediate.
See.
Ryan.
Is Ryan here?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, Ryan. Okay.
Don't remind me
All right.
to find again.
Can we learn about the bomb cloud opening? No. How to play good chess when you play the bomb cloud?
Can we learn about the brick A3 opening?
Hey, can you play with can we learn about the opening that the guy played when he got banned from chess?
Yeah.
I can't.
No.
Where's